Hey, what's going on? So this is a turbine here. Um, this is a generator actually. It has magnets going around along with the blades. Um, it's compressed. And it has four cells and a unit. This is a unit. The compressed air flow goes through here at the beginning where the first cell is, then the second cell, the third cell, and the fourth cell, which is here at the end. So this is just one generator or one unit for a generator. Generators can be really long. So the compressed airflow spins the turbine where the magnets are, and the magnets keeps the turbine spinning at max speed as the current from the energy generated continues to carry on the turbine, generating more energy. So this is another example, although this one has four units, and the units can be pretty intense. They conduct a lot of energy. For example, so the units are expanded. To show you an example, sorry about this. This was just a box. For example, here are the oxygen tanks. The oxygen tanks vacuum oxygen from the atmosphere, and then they are compressed with this big tool in the inside of the compressor. They are compressed into the generators. The generators here. Um, so although when one tank is being used in this example, four tanks would be used, and the other two tanks at the bottom, for example, if the top two are being used, they will be filling up with air, and it will continuously do a cycle as the solar panels charge the vacuum for the compressor to spin the turbine and the generator. Now, this is a lot of energy. It's more energy than the original turbines that people use for wind farms. Um, but these are examples of different containers of oxygen, how much we can compress into the generator. Um, the cells, hold on 1 second. We can make them really small. They don't really have to be as big as the other oxygen tank generators. This is a smaller one with two oxygen tanks. The oxygen tank and compressor, um, they take turns filling up. So when this one's being used, the other one's refilling with oxygen, and then whenever it's done refilling, this one would be used, and then the other one would refill with oxygen. Um, for example, this one would probably just use two units, like in each generator. The tanks could spin both units. Although this one again is four units, and so we're gonna look here at the units that we have. Here, I'm just gonna make it transparent for a second so you can see the cells inside of the unit. The cells inside of the unit, they all individually have um, four cells. The cells individually in here that are shown generate electricity individually, and here are the air compressors that come inside of the generators and or to the turbines. And as you can see here, the turbines are compressed. The airflow goes through in this direction shown here. So now I'm going to show you. That was basically how the compression was shown. On the right, here on the left, this is an individual unit. The individual unit here is shown where the airflow is compressed inside of the generator. The generator has four cells inside. The four cells inside of the unit, shown here on the left, is 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 basically like just it could be a generator on its own. Um, Although on the right, That was how the compression was shown. Here, for example, if I use hydrogen, it would be designed differently. The hydrogen design turbine, it can also be used the same. I can use individual cells using hydrogen and oxygen, burning hydrogen and oxygen, maybe other chemical elements like helium. I can use a fusion reactor to make the helium using hydrogen. Although again, the design would have to be completely different. It most likely have to be a longer tunneling, and I would have to, basically, as I'm showing here, expand the tunneling. And over here, you'd see that's an example of the tunneling, and behind the tunneling are individual cells that I tried to create or make. I have a lot of different cells, or I have a lot of different turbine designs, a little bit over 40. Although here, again, the expanse for using hydrogen would again have to be a longer tunneling effect for the flame to burn, and the turbines would be a little bit after. Although the pressure and the heat would make the air particles or the burnt fuel along with the air to expand rapidly as the inflow goes. So again, here on the left, showing the compression flow and the intake flow. Now, you see here how the compression design is, where the air intake is. Sorry, I think my screen froze for a second. It's not the computer. It was just the recording software. Sorry about that. The recording software is having little issues, although I'm correcting it right now. Okay, so moving the mouse again, showing the airflow and how constantly continue to get airflow from the compression of the oxygen tanks. The oxygen tanks will constantly vacuum the atmosphere, and you would find how we would also find different ways of detecting what's in the atmosphere, from oxygen, carbon, phosphorus, and nitrogen. Now, the detector would work in many different ways. The detector would be able to not only trap carbon, but also know the difference between the oxygen and the carbon that enters the turbine here. There are many different methods of using carbon. Can use various different pressurized heating methods or freezing methods. The freezing methods was one way of preserving the carbon into the atmosphere. Although, as you see, the generator here on the right, it will make it go through a tunneling effect, and the tunneling effect will be a series of different systems where it can detect the carbon and the differentiating from the oxygen. Now, we know oxygen is paramagnetic, and we know carbon is diamagnetic. It's the best thing about knowing the difference between the two molecular formations. Now, the generator itself, it's just a generator. I'm still thinking of more methods for atmospheric cycling. Atmospheric cycling can be done in a lot of ways, or different methods. Also, compressing, finding different methods to making different fusions, and our fusions to find different types of
elements and or particles with high intensity pressure cooking. For the fusions to take place would take an extreme heat. The fusions would make either new molecular formations and or new recent element like combinations, which would lead to our different chemical elements here that we have on Earth, kind of like what the core does on Earth.
Hey, what's going on? I know this is a little sloppy, so I made a turbine here. Here, I'll redraw it so you can see it step by step. This one, the airflow, the compressed air goes through here, and it's like this little, Okay, so anyways, okay, we'll just start off at the beginning here.